Left of your screen leads the field up to the line, and we race. Puts the cart in the middle of the circuit, slides it sideways as Severukin sends it into second. Nicely done by the Ward Racing driver to split the official factory team entries. Tuukka Tappinen back to P3, looks over his right shoulder to Matteo De Paolo in the first Kart Republic in position 4. Great start also by Fast Freddy. Slater for Ricky Flynn Motorsport slides wide on the exit of turn 6, but he's in position 5. De Paolo fires it up the inside and goes position 3. Nice move by Matteo. Splits the Tony Karts, which now run 1, 2 and 4. Joseph Turney, as predicted, as expected. Let's be perfectly honest, he's already gone. Severukin trying to stay with the driver from Milton Keynes in the Queen's England. The blind goes down on the radiator, the right hand over onto the carburetor to richen up the mixture, accelerates at 126 k's an hour. And he's got the lead at the end of the first lap from Severukin. Matteo up into P3. Then it's Tappinen, Slater, in fact, Freddie has got by the championship leader now, Tuukka Tappinen, who won round 2 of the WSK Supermaster Series 3 weeks ago. At the centre of the karting universe, as Artem makes the move for the lead. Tuukka Tappinen, the round 2 winner, the championship leader, back into P5 now. Slater is the driver on the charge. Severukin has got the race lead. There is Matteo, ragged over the ripple strip. Goes the Kart Republic driver, turning back into second place. Slater, superb. He's up into P4. Unfortunately, we have lost the Jamaican. He will be no sensation. Alex Powell is out. The driver who won the corresponding race in 2021 in juniors, Alex Powell is out of pre-final B and OK here this morning. Hugely disappointing for the Mercedes AMG Junior from the Caribbean. Alex Powell retires at the first lap. Matteo over the back of Joseph, who's in second place. Artem Severukin for Ward Racing, down through the chicane, airborne. How spectacular from that triple 2 Tony Kart. 4 wheels off the bitumen, an almighty send straight over the ripple strip. Launched it, and he leads pre-final B here at La Conca. Turney in second. There is Matteo De Paolo, the Italian, in P3 for Kart Republic. Back to Fast Freddy. Coluccio in P5 from Wisniewski. Zachary David, the championship leader, the round 2 winner. Tuukka Tappinen has fallen back to 8 from Ferreira. Sato, Hayu Yamakoshi, the 2 Japanese drivers, running together in 10th and 11th. Oscar Pedersen, Walter Ratsky. Akshay Bora from the back of the grid up into P15 ahead of Ricky Lou, Ellis Stevens and Mark Kostelic. So Artem trying to pull away, but Joseph won't let him do so. Again, look at that. You saw the porpoising of the Formula 1 cars in the pre-season test at Barcelona just a few weeks ago. Well, that was almost similar, although these drivers have got the excuse of a ripple strip. It was WRX style here at La Conca, just spectacular. There was fresh air between the LeConte tyres and the bitumen as they sent it down through the chicane. There's Walter going through ahead of Yamakoshi. Kostelic chasing down Ellis Stevens, the protege of W Series racer Alice Powell. Ella's acquitted herself nicely this weekend. The Richard Mille, young driver from England in the 216 Birol Art, ahead of the Slovenian Mark Kostelic, and trying to chase down the factory Tony Kart of Ricky Lou. Ella Stevens in position 17, Lou in 16. Behind Bora Rapsky, Hayu Yamakoshi, the Japanese driver, second in the All Japan Championship in 2021, on debut in WSK competition, along with Rintaro Sato and the fastest qualifier, Kim Nakamura Berta. Yamakoshi, one of 3 Japanese drivers competing here at La Conca this weekend. For the moment, it is Severukin in P1 pulling away. A 50.248 last time versus a 50.48 for Joseph Turney. Then it's De Paolo, Slater P4. Out of turn 6, there's Coluccio in the background. Won his final heat on a wet circuit last night. It was almost pitch dark. It was incredibly wet for the most part of yesterday. A few dry patches. Coluccio winning his final heat, the driver who only lives a few kilometres from this Lekonka circuit, in position 5, ahead of Wisniewski, Zach David, Ferreira, and the championship leader Tuka Tappinen in 2:01. He's fallen back to position 9, Severukian, with a 50.10, 0.2 of a second, quicker than Tony DePaulo. There's Wisniewski ahead of Ferreira. Tappinen, Pedersen, Sato, Yamakoshi, Walter Rasking, Ricky Lou, Porter, Ellis Stevens, Kostelic. The final runner in the 2:30 X-Prix for Forza Racing. Sideways at the exit of turn 6 for Joseph Turney. Slater is catching the leading trio. Great to see Fast Freddy back in form after a rough start to 2022. The only bump on the circuit is the right-hander before the chicane. And you saw the 227 Lando Norris car get slightly airborne. Of course, if we include the ripple strip in the world-famous chicane here at Lekonka, well, that's a bump in itself, although it is on the very edge of track limits here at Lekonka. Severukin now with a 49.78, so we're into the 49s. Just to remind you, qualifying on a dry circuit on Friday, a 44, so they're 5 seconds off their qualifying time. That just shows you how much rubber is soaked into this 1.25 kilometre Lekonka Muro Lecce World Circuit. One of the most amazing, certainly one of the most beautiful circuits in the world here in the south of Italy. Slater now on the back of Matteo De Paolo, trying to make it an OTK 1, 2, 3 from the 3 different teams. Ward Racing P1, the Tony Kart Racing Team P2, and Ricky Flynn Motorsport with the Lando Norris kart in position 4. Slater gets the slipstream down the start-finish straight, 127 kilometres an hour. Tony now with a 49.406, goes faster, almost up onto 2 wheels goes Joseph. At turn 3, just clicks the ripple strip. And then watch this into turn 6. Slater on the back of Matteo, who's fighting the grip. It's coming here at Lekonka. We're getting faster and faster finally as the sun comes out to shine at the most beautiful circuit in the world, Lekonka Muro Lecce World Circuit in the south of Italy. Over the ripple strip, quite literally, from Fast Freddy on the back of Matteo. Not quite close enough to make a move into the hairpin. De Paolo with a very slight error. He clipped the ripple strip. He'll be vulnerable. Slater almost pushes the Kart Republic, pulls out of the slipstream, sends it down into turn 1. Fast Freddy goes position 3. Slater for Ricky Flynn Motorsport up onto 2 wheels. The third bearing in all these karts tightened to the max, even on a green track here this morning. Incredible grip generated. It's starting to come. A 49.3 now for Artem Severukin. They are getting faster lap after lap. The sun finally, after the torrential rain yesterday, is coming out to shine. Severukin from Turney in P2. Slater on your screen in position 3 for RFM. We're into the second half of pre-final B. Turney looks over his shoulder. Back to Slater. From the Midlands of England, there's De Paolo. Good drive from Zachary David, the Sauber Academy driver in P5, ahead of Coluccio. Wisniewski, Ferreira, Oscar Pedersen. That's Tappinen, the championship leader, fighting with the 2 Japanese drivers, Hayu Yamakoshi and Rintaro Sato. Ellis Stevens goes through. She's pulled away from Marcus Delic. Good driving all weekend in very trying conditions from Ellis Stevens, behind Bora and Ricky Lou. Alex Powell just repeating, he is out. The only retirement of pre-final B thus far, the Jamaican will be no sensation here this morning. A big job for the driver from the Caribbean who won round 2 of the WSK Supermaster Series in 2021 in juniors, but is the only retirement from pre-final B thus far this morning. The breeze picking up, the sun is shining. Freddie Slater on the charge up into P3. As Turney now with a 49 dare, takes 0.3 of a second out of Artem Severukin, the Ward Racing driver, 222 on your screen. Perfect line through turn 6. Joseph, as spectacular as ever, ragged on the edge. It works for him, he's quick, he's just gone purple. Last time round, he's gone purple in the first sector, launches over the ripple strip, trying to catch the Ward Racing driver, Artem Severukian, in the 222 Vortex-powered Tony car. There's Slater. He's pulled away from Matteo De Paolo. Pre-final B, round 3, the 2022 WSK Supermaster Series here at Leconca World Circuit. Slater 227. Spent the early part of 2022 testing with his younger brother Alfie. And then, of course, with Lando over at the Dubai the Dubai Kartdrome, which is literally over the road from the Dubai Autodrome, with a couple of Starbucks in between, where the weather was a lot nicer than it has been thus far in Italy to start 2022. There's Matthias Verheer, pole position in round 1 and round 2 at Lonato, fighting with Coluccio, Wisniewski. Oscar Pedersen has gone purple in the first sector. We'll check the gap. Last time it was 0.6 of a second. Joseph looks over his right shoulder. Stays roughly the same down through turn 1. Severukian, for the moment, has got this under control. Clips the ripple strip. The 222 Ward Racing driver. No fastest laps last time, but we're down into the 49s. So we're, what, 5 seconds off the qualifying pace. Now as the track finally starts to rubber in. Down the far part of the circuit, there is Turney, there is Slater. The gap between those two is 1.4 seconds. Slater looks destined to finish third. Not a bad result for Freddie. A good recovery, remember, started back on the 4th row of the grid. He's in position 3. Artem Severukian nervously looks over his right shoulder, and he has good reason, because Joseph takes 0.2 of a second out of him. Goes purple that time. There's Matthias Verheer fighting with Gustav Wisniewski and Luigi Coluccio. Fastest lap of the race now, 48.785 for Oscar Pedersen. 2021 Swedish champion for Ward Racing, up into P9. Good drive from Oscar. The 267 Ward Racing Tony Kart, whose teammate leads the race. Freddie looks behind him. The penultimate lap of pre-final B, Artem Severukian in the 222 Racer RR 401 comes across the line to get the last lap board. Looks again over his shoulder. He's pulled away from Turney, who'll finish in 2nd place. 1.2 seconds now the gap. They've dropped it off. Coasting to the checkered flag. No mistake now from Artem Severukian. Started on the 2nd row of the grid. Joseph Turney from pole position. Tuukka Tappinen, the championship leader. Last round winner is down in position 13. Behind the 2 Japanese drivers, Hayu Yamakoshi and Rintaro Sato. Tuukka Tappinen, 201, struggling in 13th place after starting from the front row of the grid. There's Joseph in 2nd place. Position 1, 222 for the Ward Racing team. Accelerates out of the final corner. Artem Severukian wins pre-final B for OK here this morning. The gap, 1.3 seconds as Slater with a 48.7 on his final lap. Goes purple faster than anybody to finish in P3. Wisniewski across the line from Luigi Coluccio for Verheer Pedersen. There's David Walter for Koski Motorsport. Great try from Hayu Yamakoshi. Sato goes through. Ahead of Ricky Lu, Border, Ravsky. That's Tuukka Tappinen in position 16. A disaster for the round 2 winner. Kostelic does get the better of Ellis Stevens at the very end of the race. Tuukka Tappinen in position 16. He won at Lonato 3 weeks ago. He's the championship leader. Remember, there are points awarded for the pre-final, and he gets virtually nothing out of this morning. Severukian with the victory.